Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at what is most definitely a brand new release and not something from last year, the Marvel Select Blade figure. Now, I told you guys not that long ago that Diamond Select sent me some figures. They said, review them if you want to, do whatever you want with them, whatever. And so I'm trying to sprinkle those reviews in as I do my other reviews that are more timely. It is an older figure, but it is one that many of you have requested I review, and it's one that I think I needed to review. Especially for those of you who collect Marvel figures. You need to see this. Especially if you collect Marvel figures from Hasbro. This should be an eye-opening experience for some of you. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. Before we get into the figure, I do want to show you my package. Still one of the biggest packages out there. The Marvel Select packaging is absolutely gigantic. It's thick. It's wide, it's tall, there's plastic, there's cardboard, it's very nice looking. There's a whole lot of package, even for all the stuff they include, it's still quite a large package, so I don't know how displayable it is for you on-card collectors, but it is what it is. For the rest of you, you're probably going to throw it away. Hey, their photos aren't terrible. They're not particularly good, but the photos aren't bad this time. So there's that. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this figure. I will note, firstly, it is, if you haven't seen this before and you want one now, this guy is still in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. I'll put a link in the description below. You can check it out if you want one. Okay, so let's do a height measurement. This guy stands about 18.5 centimeters. That's going to make him roughly, we'll call it 7 3/8 inches. So he's probably not going to fudge with your Marvel Legends too much. Yeah, he's definitely too big there. He could probably go with the McFarlane figures, but realistically, McFarlane's scale is all over the place and Blade is huge, so probably not going to work there. But will he work with the other Marvel Select figures? Yeah, probably well enough. I don't know how big Blade's supposed to be. I know Wesley Snipes is big, or not big. Wesley Snipes is kind of short, so I think he is. And whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not Wesley Snipes. Which is my first gripe with this figure. It's not Wesley Snipes, and everybody knows that is... he's probably as good as Blade as Robert Downey is as Iron Man. I think he was that quintessential to the Marvel Universe. Anyway, just that's all an aside. This is not that, so that's fine. Alright, let's talk about this. I have to get this out of the way, and people love to, the White Knights love to say things. Why do you always bring up Hasbro? Well, one, they're in contention for the #1 toy company in the world at any given time, not counting things like Lego. And definitely for action figures, and certainly for Marvel figures, so it's a fair comparison. They have earned that right to be compared. And this figure costs 30 bucks, just under 30 bucks, and so it's only a couple dollars more than most Marvel Legends, and in some cases less than most Marvel Legends. It is a Marvel figure, so licensing is there. Same as Hasbro. That's one of the biggest arguments we get. Hasbro has to pay for the licensing, therefore they can't make good figures. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Marvel Select is the counterpoint to that, which just, it's the nail in the coffin. Alright? There's everything good about this figure is not on a Hasbro figure. At all. So let's just get into it. Aesthetically, it looks really nice. My biggest gripe about this guy, the worst thing I could find about this guy aesthetically is they have his shoulders kind of forward and he just doesn't have much meat, especially given that he's wearing armor. He's skinny from front to back. At the shoulder and at the chest and back. So there's that. Otherwise, he looks really, really good. He's loaded with detail. If you look, he's got his tattoos. His classic tribal tattoos. I know they're not really tribal tattoos, but that's what they look like. He's got the hair, which is sculpted and painted. The glasses that are on his face permanently. Very nicely done. Very, very clean. There's detail work in the armor, sculpt and paint-wise. The belt, loaded with both paint and sculpt. Pants are nice and wrinkly. Nothing really special going on there paint-wise. Is there dry brushing? I don't think so. I think that's just the light bouncing off of it. The boots, painted, sculpted. The gauntlets, painted, sculpted. The spikes in there are hard plastic so that they're not going to get all warpy and crappy. I don't think they're removable. I haven't tried. I don't want to try it. But yeah, you just get everything you could want. At 30 bucks? This is nuts. This is ridiculous. This is more sculpt and paint than an entire wave of comic Marvel Legends, for sure, without a doubt. And that's not even to mention the accessories. So let's actually remove his accessories so we can get on with the review. This is going to be one of those scenes where the protagonist is just emptying his entire person, and it's just weapons everywhere. But that's what you get when you get good figures. There's accessories included. And I don't know about that. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so now he's stripped down. You can still see lots of stuff going on there just for a base figure. So aesthetically, it's wonderful. For 30 bucks, 9.5 out of 10. It's not perfect. The problems aren't huge, and I don't think you're going to notice them too much once you actually get the figure on display and posed at all. So gorgeous. Love it. Okay, as far as accessories go, we'll start simple. We have his sword, which has 3 bits of paint on it, or at least 3 different colors. One of those might not be painted. Very nicely done. Good plastic, good sculpt, fits in the sheath. That's nice. We get his nightstick / tonfa, whatever you want to call that. There's extra paint on there. Really nice sculpt, not all warped and crappy. You get 2 different pistols, sort of. One's kind of like a shotgun type thing. So you get those. And we'll set those aside for a second. So you get both of those. Those fit in his holsters. I'll mention this one, I guess, right now. It has this really flat spot back here, and he has this thing that pegs into his leg. It's keyed, so it's kind of weird. I mean, it looks like it goes on the straps, whatever. And that vaguely, sort of, kind of, fits onto here. And I'm guessing that's what's intended. Like this. If I can get it on there on camera. So it kind of goes like that, and that looks like a stock, sort of, so that's fine. But then the other weird thing is you can do this with the guns, and that's definitely not how guns work at all, but you can make a super shotgun with 2 triggers. I don't know what's going on there, but you can do it. So you get those guns, and then you do get his knife with the knuckle guard, which is spiked, and it's painted, and it looks awesome, and that fits in the sheath. And then you also get his glaive, which does fold up. That's awesome. It pegs onto his belt. And then you get an alternate head, so you have the neutral head that comes on him in the package. Then you get the angry head with the teeth showing. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's certainly good enough. That looks nice. And then if that wasn't enough, you get the 2 trigger finger hands that come on him in the package. Then you get 2 more trigger finger hands. Is that what's going on here? Are they just different gripping hands? I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe they just gave you an extra set in case they break. I don't know. Maybe they hold the accessories differently. But that's what I got. Or maybe mine was mispacked. Maybe he's supposed to have different hands. Either way, you got some extra hands. So that could be a problem that I maybe got the wrong things. I don't know. But that's a boatload of accessories on top of a figure that's all original sculpt, covered in sculpted paint at 30 bucks. 9.9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like, there's no blast effects or things like that, and maybe the hands are weird, so let's go 9.8 out of 10 for the accessories. That's more accessories than an entire wave of Marvel Legends, even movie ones. Like, that's nuts. That's nuts. Tell me again about licensing, guys. Tell me again about all these things that Hasbro keeps feeding their customers, and people just regurgitate on the internet. Alright, let's look at the articulation, because, okay, here's the other point, but Marvel Selects, they don't have the same articulation. Most of the time they have the same or very close to the same POA. So let's see what we have. Alright, so for the head, we have double ball pegs, so he can look around. It's not the best double ball peg in the world, but you're going to be able to do things like that right there. That pose right there sells you on this joint. You can't do that with a disc hinge. You can lean forward, or you can lean to the side, or rotate to the side. You can't lean down. And it doesn't work unless you have a double ball peg, leaning down to the side. So anyway, it's not the best one we've ever seen, but it's certainly good enough, and I think that'll be fine. It works pretty well. For the shoulder, you get your full rotation there, standard ball hinge. Oh, limited range. They did what NECA does a lot of the time, and that's unfortunate. It doesn't affect cost at all, but the shoulder is sculpted all the way over, so you have no place to rotate it. So you can't bring you can't bring the arm any farther up, which is unfortunate. That sucks. It's a flaw for this figure. It doesn't affect price point. That doesn't change what it costs for them to produce. Alright, so you get your bicep swivel in there. You get a single jointed elbow, which gives you just less than 90 degrees, another bit of rotation in there. Some of the Marvel Legends have the same exact joint setup, so that's not really a price difference either. Okay, it'd be better. I would rather he have double jointed elbows, and that might cost a little bit more, but like I said, this is not standard for Marvel Select or non-standard for Marvel Legends, so it's no big deal. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. They are the wrong hinge for the wrists. That's unfortunate. Alright, for the diaphragm joint, He can lean back really far. It does get slightly gappy if you go too far, so just don't go that far. That's how articulation works when you have good range. Doesn't lean forward that far, which is unfortunate. Could be better, not terrible. All right, and then you get the side to side because it's a diaphragm joint and rotation. So that's pretty good. You do also get a waist twist and a floaty belt. So you should be able to, other than trying to like crunch him really far forward, you should be able to pose him pretty well. The diaphragm joint could have better range going forward. If this was a ball peg down here, it would be better instead of the twist, but that is okay. All right, for the hips. Of course, when his holster is empty, he can basically do the full-on splits. So that's pretty good. Bringing the leg forward, it kicks out to the side a little bit, but you get up to horizontal, so that is fine. They do go back a little bit. You do get a thigh swivel. Single jointed knee, just like the elbow. You get about 90 degrees. Could have better range, of course. It would be better to be a double. And then you do get the rotation there. You get a boot swivel. Ankles go all the way back. And far enough forward, but not very far. And you get an ankle rocker. So, which points of articulation are missing? Well, he's got single jointed elbows and knees. Half the Marvel Legends, if we include women, have that same issue. So, where's the money being saved? It's not. Hasbro just overcharges you for an inferior product. This figure's not perfect. The articulation's still not great. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It'll pose well enough. Could be a whole lot better, even given the style of joints they have. Probably could argue higher for a $30 figure. You could go 8 given the sculpt and everything else. You know, you can figure it out how you value different things. But guys, there's no better comparison than the Marvel Select line. I'm so tired of hearing these Hasbro fanboys telling me, well, it's because of licensing, they can't do this, they can't do that. Yes, they can. They don't want to. They don't want to, and they don't care what you want. Alright, so let's give this guy a final rating. For $30 or just under $30, with all of the accessories, an original sculpt, lots of paint, lots of detail, everything you could want really other than better range of motion, this guy gets a 9.5 out of 10. It's an excellent, excellent release, and it's an excellent, excellent example of everything that's wrong with Hasbro. Bigger figure, original sculpt, loaded with paint, loaded with accessories, same POA, relatively the same range of motion as let's say half of Marvel Legends. What's missing? You explain it to me, Hasbro fans. Tell me what I'm saying that's wrong, because it's right here in front of you. You can see it for yourself. It's time to stop lying to ourselves, guys, as collectors, and make these companies give us what we're paying for, or we stop paying them. Don't buy bad figures from Hasbro, and they'll make better figures, because they need to in order to exist. We don't need them in order to exist, guys. You don't need to buy their toys. They need to sell you toys. Therefore, you have all of the control. If you stop giving them money for inferior products, they will make a better product. That's the only way they can exist. Unless they want to shut up shop, which is fine. They can do that. Somebody else will fill it in. That's fine. But we need to start being a little more choosy, guys. This is a perfect example. Well done, Diamond Select. I mean, they don't watch these videos, I'm guessing, but well done. This is an excellent, excellent release. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd love to chat with you. But that's it from me for today. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands, literally thousands, already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.